What if I told you that in just 2 months, I went from a clueless farmhand to a legendary master, exaggerated, of every single skill in Stardew Valley? Farming, mining, fishing, foraging, and even the elusive combat. Maxed to perfection. No shortcuts, no cheats, just strategy, mostly strategy, grit, and maybe a little obsession. Here's how I did it, the mistakes I made, and the secrets I wish I knew from the start. If you've ever dreamed of being a Stardew Valley powerhouse, you're in the right place. Okay, but in all seriousness, let's jump into the video. So in part 1, I mastered both fishing and mining in a month, which you can check on my channel page or the recommended video, so go watch part 1 and come back to this one, will ya? At the start of summer, I just did a bunch of grinding, to be honest. I started out mastering combat by just spamming my way to the skull cavern every single day without miss. I traded all my omni geodes and gemstones into resources like desert warp and food. And I just go to the skull cavern, mine all day, sometimes until 2 AM, just to max out combat skill. I think the hardest part of leveling combat is getting enough monsters to slay, since most floors has little to no monsters, and mostly just rocks that I no longer need, since I already maxed out on mining. It didn't take long until I maxed out combat though. Just after day 8 on summer, I reached level 10 combat. There wasn't any particular strategy that I used. I just go as deep as I can into the skull cavern, killing every mobs on the way. I figured that's the best strategy I could muster up, since most mobs that gives the most XP is in the skull cavern, such as the serpent, mummies, iridium bats, and so on. Now farming was a more passive approach. It was more of a parallel thing that I would do, along with of course foraging and combat. And since I mastered mining already, I gathered a bunch of sprinklers on day 1 of summer to put down and farmed a lot of poppies. It gives the most time to XP ratio in summer, I believe, from the seeds that I can buy from Pierre, from my maths and calculations. Feel free to prove me wrong in the comments, please. I just invested all my money into poppies and basically put them down, never to care about them again until the next harvest, which coincidentally took 7 days, so it wasn't a very good yield though. So it only netted me enough experience to reach level 8 in farming, but I must have been very close to level 9 though, because I sold all the yields to Pierre, invested them back into poppy seeds, and sowed them again on the same day. This time with more sprinklers means more harvest, and this time on the second harvest, I reached level 10 farming quite easily, since there were like 300 plus poppies. Now I think this is the most complicated part of the challenge, which was foraging. Notoriously quite hard to level. Although looking back at it, I could have probably planted more trees to make it easier for me to get XP. These are the main ways for me to get experience points, is chopping down trees, including normal trees, tree stumps, fallen trees, etc., foraged items, wild seeds, and artifact/seed spots. From this challenge, I learned that the first thing I should have done is to convert all the foraged items into wild seeds, including in spring, which I didn't do. This would have helped my progress for both farming and foraging, since it gives both farming and foraging XP. I also would have brought my hoe everywhere to dig up artifacts and seed spots, since it gives quite a bit of experience. But overall, it went quite well. I devised a schedule or a route to my foraging plan, but basically I always check these things: trees to chop, forageables, and artifact spots, which this is how it goes. It starts from the farm, chopped all trees that I planted there. Don't forget to also check the fruit caves. Go north and check the mountains and train tracks for trees and forageables. After the mountains, I go south inside town, doing a zigzag pattern to cover the whole area of the town. Check the beach also, since there are also a lot of forageables there. Then go west to check the whole cindersap forest, making a big U shape from right to left and into the secret woods. In the secret woods, there's always 6 tree stumps waiting to be chopped, netting to around 150 foraging experience every single day. So that was quite a huge help to my foraging XP. After that, then I warped to the desert, go back to the bus stop using the bus. I rode the minecart to the quarry and walked to the cave area, checking all the same things. And by then, it would usually be around 5 to 6 PM already, so I just go to my farm and planted all my available seeds after today's forage. Tree seeds and wild seeds. And after all that, just rinse and repeat the whole process every single day until finally, barely, on day 28th of summer, I reached max level on every skill in Stardew Valley. On the last day, I opened the Mastery Caves, and mind you, I actually haven't played the new 1.6 update on Mastery, so I had no idea that you actually need a total of 100,000 more XP on any skill to reach Mastery, so oh crap.